It is a Monday night. It's also David Letterman's 74th birthday, and welcome inside the Channel 13 studios. It's great to be with you here on this Monday night. We'll be talking a lot about the Indianapolis 500 tonight. We've got not only some special artwork that we want to show you tonight as part of our coverage of the rededication of the Speedway Town Hall. We're also going to talk about the new vaccine clinic that opens up tomorrow at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We'll get with Mary Mills, get the very latest on that, all part of the COVID vaccine rollout across the state of Indiana. We'll get with Sean to find out about a couple of cool nights ahead and our next chance for rain. That's also coming up. But first tonight, we want to go ahead and lead with our big story tonight at 11 o'clock, and that is IPS leaders are beginning to talk about some changes that students will face in the fall for the next school year. It appears as though IPS, because of a big budget deficit, they're going to have to make some changes as it relates to transportation, meaning that in some cases, children are going to have to walk to school instead of taking a school bus, and there are also plans for other children to take IndyGo buses in the fall. So that's all part of some of the proposals being kicked around and discussed during a town hall meeting. And our Alan Carter talked to me about that just a few minutes ago. So Alan, what was the purpose of tonight's virtual town hall?
Well, as you can imagine, Scott, there's just a lot of families that have concerns. They have questions about what this will mean for them and their families as they try to make transportation plans for the upcoming school year. So the purpose of tonight's town hall was really just to give a little bit of information, some facts to those families to let them understand exactly what's going on. Not only that, but also how exactly the school system got into this hole, which we understand is about $18 million deficit that they'll be facing heading into next school year.
All right, so for IPS parents that have not been following this story closely, lay out what is ahead here in terms of our state's largest school district.
Yeah, this basically will affect students that live closest to some of the schools. So if you're talking about students that are what's technically called a walking zone for elementary and middle school, those students, if you live, it varies depending on the grade that the student is in, but if they live close enough, they'll be expected to have to walk to school starting next school year. For high school students, this means that if they live within a mile of an IndyGo stop, they'll be expected to have to ride the IndyGo bus as opposed to a regular school bus. They'll be eliminating school bus service for students that live close to IndyGo stops.
What has been the reaction of parents to these changes coming up in the fall?
You know, I don't know if the word is entirely out yet. At the town hall that happened tonight, it did not seem to be widely attended. There weren't a whole lot of questions that were thrown out. The ones that were, though, they did focus heavily on safety. You know, what does this mean in terms of, you have a child that's going to be walking to a school bus stop potentially. Are there any plans to have more covered school bus stops? So those were some of the questions that were asked, as well as you have a student that's walking to school. Is there anything to offset a situation where there's inclement weather? How are those students going to get to school then? The school board did not have all of those answers ironed out just yet. It's something that they say that they're still working on. There is a little a backup plan that for families that if they live in one of these zones that they can appeal. For instance, if they live in an area that doesn't have any sidewalks, that is something that they can have a basis on appeal. But the school system says that they are looking at all of the options and obviously all of the concerns for families regarding this.
And Alan, if IPS didn't make these changes, what are they saying would happen?
Yeah, they describe what could be a pretty dire situation, an $18 million hole that they say was really put upon them by COVID. Now, they will be getting some of that money back from stimulus funds, but ultimately one of the other options that were on the table if they did not enact this was a possibility of having to shut down schools. Certainly hoping it does not come to that, though.
We'll be watching your story tonight on 13 News at 11. Alan, thanks so much.
You bet.
Also coming up tonight at 11 o'clock, we'll tell you how you can register and watch the next two IPS town hall meetings that will be taking place. You do have to register. More on that coming up, part of our big story conversation that happens tonight on the big show tonight at 11 o'clock. All right, let's bring Sean in, talk about, well, let's first ask about your daughter's birthday. You scheduled the birthday knowing that there'd be some rain over the weekend.
Knowing there'd be a lot of rain, by the way.
How did it go? Did she have a good time?
I found out quickly, 10-year-olds, 9-10-year-olds, heavy rain does not deter them.
Yeah, they love it. They're still having fun, right?
They loved it. And We contemplated moving it into our garage.
Right.
And then my wife's like, you know what, they're going to have fun. And the great thing is, how often do you get to play in just flat out heavy rain without the threat of lightning
Right.
and without the threat of severe wind?
Yeah,
so,
nice.
Yeah, it was a little bit wet, but like I said, I mean, it was funny just seeing these kids take their rain boots off and just dump out the water.
Well, I'm glad your daughter had a great
they had
birthday
a
party
blast,
despite
man. It
some
was
of the,
wet.
Yeah.
I hated seeing because we're in Little League season now and soccer season, and I hated to hear about some of the tournaments that got canceled over the weekend. We're done with the real heavy rain.
Yeah, nice day today.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that sunshine was certainly some welcome news. I do want to let our folks know south of I-70, we'll show you live Doppler 13 radar here with a couple of sprinkles and some showers possible overnight into bus stops tomorrow morning, okay? It's not a big player, but it's a disturbance, quick mover, and that's what we want to stress here. I want to show you future track 13. May wake up to some cloud cover even around the metro area. But it won't last long. This is early tomorrow morning. So again, these showers move through quickly. They should be mostly out of the state by about 1-2 p.m. And then boom, we're back to sun again. Another real nice day tomorrow. 65 to near 70 for a high tomorrow. This is what things should look like around the metro area for your Tuesday. Now, this will be one of the warmer days of our 7-day forecast. At 11 o'clock tonight, we'll let you know about this upper system that's going to come pivoting through the Great Lakes. It does bring some seasonably chilly air. We'll have a couple of nights in the 30s.
Ooh.
Average low is around 40, 42 this time of year.
All right.
But we got a couple of days where the highs might only be in the mid to low 50s too.
Ooh, okay. All right.
So it might catch your attention. I don't want to give you the full 7
Of course.
right now. But,
yeah, you've got to get that tonight at 11.
but it does look like, at least right now, no big storm systems for us.
Okay.
At least over the next 5 days.
Very good. Here's some of our Facebook friends joining us. Terry saying, I'm sorry I am late from Plainfield. Terry, no rush.
It's all
We're
good.
glad you're here.
Yeah.
You made it. It's all good. Teresa joining us. Rachel joining us saying hello, Scott and Sean. Janice joining us again. Sean was interested in whether or not you got the birthday party in. Wes.
Boom.
Yeah, so
got it.
Sean has answered that. Karen says, love Channel 13 News. Thank you. So thank you so much to all of our Facebook friends joining us here on this Monday night. All right, so there is another opportunity to get a COVID vaccine tomorrow at IMS, and our Mary Mills has that story for us.
The mass vaccine clinic here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway tomorrow, definitely a go. IU Health is running it using the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. You may have heard that production issues have led to a drop in supply, but the J&J doses for the IMS clinic this week and next are already allotted.
Oh, look at you.
I'm ready to go, man.
The plans were to vaccinate 96,000 Hoosiers over 16 days, and again, nothing has changed there. The vaccines are appointment only. Now, all the slots for this week are taken already, but there are still appointments available for the third vaccine clinic here, which runs from April 24th through the 30th.
All right, so there's Mary Mills giving us the update on the COVID vaccinations. And not far from the track, they've got some really cool artwork today. And you may remember the pandemic artwork that surfaced last year during 2020. Well, Jenny Runovich found that there's some pretty neat artwork by a local artist celebrating all the great things the 500's all about.
Nice.
And all the great places and things that you see in Speedway. Watch Jenny's story.
As Speedway waves the green flag on its new municipal building, a years-long project consolidating the council, police, parks, and Speedway schools, the essence of this town is being unveiled in a new art display inside.
That represents both what we're known for, which is the 500, but we'd also like to showcase the community. Some of the dynamic businesses that we have that have been featured here for a long, long, long time.
2 paintings capturing the 2 pillars of Speedway, its community history and its racing heritage. Local artist Audwin Newman created them both.
And I just want people to get that these things that you pass every day that you don't even think about are historic and fascinating landmarks.
I think it just is a fantastic representation of the heart of Speedway.
One piece showcases the greatest spectacle in racing, from the Marmon Wasp to the Pagoda to the Yard of Bricks. And this one features Delara, Allison Transmission, the Water Tower.
And then, of course, their mascot, the spark plug, and I toughened them up a little bit and gave them a little extra power.
These pieces are permanent, meant to rev the engines of every visitor forever. And downstairs, there's a rotating exhibit with a different artist featured every 2 months. Newman is up first.
To further the connection with these temporary art displays, they plan to have QR codes next to the paintings so people can use their phones and then buy what they like.
I'm just honored to be part of it.
For Newman, who painted the popular Pandemic 500 pieces last year, this display is also a chance to bring hope for a Speedway tradition renewed.
Just the feeling of a new dawn, a new day, a new time. And I think it's exciting. I really do.
I love that artwork, and it's great to see these local artists celebrated over there. So you can learn more with Jenny Runovich's story tonight on WTHR.com. What'd you think of that, Sean?
Awesome. You know, I mean, I just getting amped.
Yeah,
you know,
I know. Can't believe it. The race is next month.
Oh, boy. You know, it was nice to see, you know, they were out practicing last week. I mean, it's a good time of year.
Yeah, and I think still one of the big questions that we're all waiting to hear, of course, how many fans will be allowed inside? And you got to believe, based on where we are in the calendar, that we got to be finding out soon. I mean, we've got to be finding out very soon how many fans will be allowed. And I know that the Marion County Health Department likely working with Team Penske over there at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Yeah,
I mean, he said he's wants north of 200,000 to get in. I don't know if that'll happen, but that's what he said in the past.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, I would assume, what do you think, here in the next 2 weeks, we should at least have a ballpark?
Yeah, I mean, I've got no inside knowledge, but I was sort of thinking, look, if I had it, I would let you know. But, you know, it's got to be pretty soon here because, you know, obviously people are trying to make plans. And so it'll just be interesting. And, of course, the moment that we know anything about fans inside the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for all the practices, Carb Day, and the race, of course, we'll, of course, let you know, pass it on throughout the social media and get you push alerts and all that.
Yeah.
So,
hey, it's been a fun ride.
Yep.
Miss Buckman back tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, Angela's back tomorrow, huh?
It's funny watching everyone jump on. Hey, Angela, you know, they're so accustomed to Ange. She will be back.
Sean, we've enjoyed having you.
Oh, it's fun. I love it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's back tomorrow, and she'll be with you for the long haul. So.
All right. Well, very good. It'll be good to have Angela back, but we have really enjoyed having you here.
Yeah.
So, all right. So coming up, 13 News at 11 o'clock. Sean's got your 7-day forecast. We're going to talk more about, again, the IPS transportation plans. We're going to have a lot on the breaking news that we've seen. We had a school shooting in Knoxville, Tennessee today. There's been some things happening up in Minneapolis. We'll get you updated on that. All coming up on 13 News at 11. Thanks for joining us here on Facebook. We'll see you tonight at 11.